and Virginia, right off the top of my head. And by the way, back then Virginia was more of a red state than it is a purple state now. So you can have sort of a sea change election that can engulf and even some of these red areas. And again, I will tell you, Kate, just look at Dem performance from the last couple of elections. Just look at the Dem performance in Marjorie Taylor Greene's old district, where Democrats cut the Republican advantage in half. You have a lot of states that look more interesting and targetable if, in fact, Dem performance is cutting some of these margins in half. You have a lot of seats in play.
What about, Dave, Texas and Maine?
Texas, yeah, it didn't move into this analysis. Maine is in the same place. When we talk about Chuck Schumer, his recruitment of Janet Mills in Maine was, one, a coup for Schumer. She did not want to do it. She is doing it. But Democrats are fairly, I'd say, every week more comfortable that if they end up with Graham Plattner, if it turns out he's able to survive the negative coverage of his race, that he can beat Susan Collins. That state has been actually shifting, even though Trump is competitive when he runs in the 2nd district. That state has been shifting towards Democrats. Texas was not shifting, but same thing. Republicans unleashed everything they had on Tellerico in a spirit of a couple weeks, but they have not been able to put the Senate race to bed. And how involved is the president in this? This is another question hovering over a lot of races. You could look at even at the Virginia referendum next week. Republicans are being outspent when they don't have a lack of money. The president has raised $300 million for a super PAC that's not really doing much. Republicans have made ad reservations toward the end of the year, but where is the air cover they need for these candidates to change the storyline? Where is the evidence that going after Democrats is sticking? Because the overall, I'd say two things to close that. The overall picture is a little bit worse for Republicans every month. And unlike prior years where some candidates, think of 2022, not every Democrat said, I support Joe Biden and everything he does. They were allowed to get some separation from Joe Biden, criticize this policy, that policy, say they hope he didn't run for another term, et cetera. Republicans are not allowed to do that. This is the first second-term, midterm I've seen where Republicans are one party's candidates are nailed to the president and unable to say they disagree with him, with the minor exception of Susan Collins. And so every race, not like every state is moving in the same speed or every state's competitive for Democrats, but in every race, Democrats are confident. If Trump is less popular, Republicans are tied to him and they cannot break without damage to themselves.
It's fun to watch Cornell's face as you lay that out. Dave and Cornell, gentlemen, thank you so much. Got to leave it there. Coming up next.